Hi, and welcome to the NJ Life and Health video on how to enroll in Medicare Part B only online. So first steps first, we're going to want to come up here to the search bar or to Google and type in the form that we're going to need, which is called CMS L564. This is going to be the main form that you need to have completed by your employer before you can start this process of enrolling in Part B. Now, we can either send you this form or you'll find it on the cms.gov website. And the form is going to look like this. It's a request for employment information. Again, your employer will need to fill this form out before you begin applying for Part B only online. Now, the form is quite self-explanatory. At the top is the basic demographics of the applicant and the employee. They'll ask for the applicant name, the employee's name if it's different than the applicant, for example, if it's your spouse, the employer name, and the employer information. And you can fill out this top section, and then the employer is responsible for filling out the remainder. The employer will notate if you had health insurance and when it ended, if it did. And then the employer will notate when you worked for the company and if your employment has ended. An important note here, if you are still working when you have this form filled out, which is very common, the employer will write the start date of your employment, and then they can select still employed right here and not put an end date in. If you have ended your insurance or they know the insurance is going to end in the next month or two, they can go ahead and put that end date right in here if they would like to. Then they'll sign the bottom and go on from there. So again, this initial form is the first step in applying for Medicare Part B online. It would be your employer to fill out this form, which we can email to you, or you can pull up online by just typing into your online search bar CMS L564, which is the name of the form. Now, once that form is completed, you'll have to go to the SSA or the Social Security website to enroll in Part B only. Now, this process is for those that already have Medicare Part A and just need to enroll in Part B over the age of 65. If you do not have Medicare A, then there's a different process that you'll need to follow to enroll. This again is for those that already have Part A and are just enrolling in Medicare Part B. So we're on the Social Security website, which is ssa.gov. You'll know you're in the right place when you see the official website of the United States government at the top, and you see this same outline that you're seeing here on your screen. And the first step is to go up to the Medicare section and hit the drop down button, and there'll be a spot that says sign up for Medicare. When we click that, it'll bring us to a new page that has two different options, sign up for Medicare or sign up for Part B only. If you need to enroll in Part A and B, you'll use the first link. If you need to enroll in just Medicare Part B, then you'll use the second link here and hit the blue Get Started button. So once we do that, it'll take us to another page that says sign up for Part B only. We'll scroll down to the blue Start an Application button. Here it will give us some basic information. Once we've read it, if we would like to, we can check the box and hit Start Application. Now, we hit Continue so that we acknowledge and agree to use this online application. And now we are here in the online application for Medicare Part B only. If we scroll down past the basic instructions, we're going to hit the first page, which is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to enter in your Medicare number. You're going to say, yes, you'd like to enroll in Medicare Part B. You'll enter in your demographics, last name first, address, phone number, and in the remarks, you're going to write in, I would like my Medicare Part B to begin, and then pick a date. For example, it could be August 1st, 2026, right? This is where you indicate to Social Security when you want that Part B to start. If you do not put anything in this box, they will start at the first of the month following when you submit this application. So again, on this application, you'll put in your Medicare number, check the box yes for Part B, put in your demographics, and then enter in the box when you want your Medicare Part B to begin. Now, in the second section is the employment information from that initial form that we went over prior, okay? So on that employment information, you'll copy down everything that's already on the form from your employer, okay? This is the first section, which is just the employee name and the employer address. And the second section is the information on when you were covered and when you were working. Now, this form here online, as of us making this video, is just a little bit different than the form that your employer completed. The top section is the same. Are you covered by an employer health plan? When did the coverage begin? And has the coverage ended? If it has ended, this box will be open so that you can write the date it's ended. If the coverage has not yet ended because you're still working, that box will disappear and you won't have to type anything in there. Again, the first section is, are you covered by insurance through your employment? And if you say yes, they'll ask for the date it started. If you say it has not ended, they won't ask you for an end date. If you say it has ended, they will ask you for an end date. Now, here's where the forms differ slightly. It says, when did you or your spouse work for the company? They have a from and a to date. On the form your employer filled out, there was a separate section over here that said still employed, yes. If your employer has filled out the form and put a start date and just selected yes on you are still employed, there is no date for to. You can just fill out today's date. For example, if it is April 2026 and your employer put that you are still employed, they did not put an end date, you can put today's date, April 2026. As long as this form is submitted and you are asking for Medicare to start within 8 months of whatever date you put here, there is no problem. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about it. Don't fret about it. Again, if your employer has filled out on the form that you are still employed, and that option is not here on the online application, in the to date for when that insurance or that employment goes to, put today's date. Okay. Now, in the next section, you'll click here to attach the employment verification form. So that form that your employer filled out, you'll want to upload onto your computer and attach it here, or that's something we can do with you here in the office. And then you'll click here to sign. You'll sign by typing in your name, John Doe. When you apply that signature, the last thing you'll be able to do when everything is all done, there'll be a note that pops up here and says submit for signature. They'll ask you to enter in your email, and you'll then receive an email from Adobe and Social Security, Adobe being the program that we're using here to fill out this application. And they'll ask you to click inside the email a little blue link that says click to verify my email, and that will act as your signature for the application. You will then receive a copy of this application, which you will want to retain. So again, taking it back to the start, you have a CMS L564 form that you can pull up on the internet or we can email to you. You'll want your employer to complete this form. Once the form is completed and signed, you'll go to the Social Security website. You'll hit the Medicare section to sign up for Medicare. Hit sign up for Part B only and start the application. Once you start that application, it'll bring you over to this page here where you can start off by putting in your Medicare number, saying yes to Part B, your demographics, and writing in the day you want to start. Copy or transcribe the employer page information from the employment form that you had the employer fill out. And again, the only discrepancy, if on this initial form, your employer has put, yes, you are still employed and did not put an end date here, when you get to the application itself, you can go ahead and just put today's date in the working to date. Hopefully that was helpful. And if you need anything, give our office a call.